Hello, hello. Are we live? Are we live? Let's mute that. Okay, cool. I think we are good to go. Right, the lineups are out. Okay, Gonzalo's playing. Palacios. Nice, nice. What's up, Danny D? Thank you, thank you. Yes, what is up your fine self? Do I watch La Liga? I'll say no. I mean, I do watch La Liga games, but I'm a mega casual. I watch El Clasico. I watch Barcelona derby. I watch the big games when it's crunch time at the end of the season. And I'll watch, if Arsenal are going to play a Spanish team in the Champions League, I'll watch whichever team that is in the build-up to sort of get a feel for how they're looking. Do I think Chelsea will get European football? Yes, I do think so. I think they are one of the swingiest teams going for sure. I think they have a ceiling probably as high as second, but I also feel they have a floor probably as low as like eighth, just because the amount of volatility that could be in a squad that bloated, new manager, interesting kind of unique system that he's going to be playing. It's kind of hard to tell how well that's going to work. My mini prediction is he'll drop the double 10 thing at some point and go to a more conventional Premier League tried and tested system, but we will see. Why didn't I do a live for the Arsenal match? I was at the game, mate. I'm a season ticket holder, so I was at the match. Thoughts on Gakpo to Man City? Is that a thing? I've not really checked any transfer news today, so do you mean Gakpo to Spurs? Not sure I've heard Gakpo to Man City. Where do I think Brighton will finish? That is a very difficult one. I think the three Bs, as I call them, Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, all look like they'll be fairly decent again this season. Kind of hard to predict. You've got different teams not playing in Europe who get much more rest. Teams like Bournemouth now playing in Europe. I think all those kind of teams are kind of difficult at this stage to predict where they're going to end up. So we'll see. I like Brighton though, so I hope they do well. Enzo's starting, really? That is curious. Predict Man U's next game. I think I did that on our podcast that's going up tomorrow, so you can see my prediction there, sir. What's the process for choosing watch long match? So this match was just picked because it was just when I had free time. Did a lot of recording stuff today, and yesterday I watched all the games, but there wasn't really a decent window for me to actually live stream. So yeah, there's no particular formula right now. I think I'm just going to hand pick games which make sense. I don't think I'll ever well, I shouldn't say ever. I don't think I'll be streaming Arsenal games anytime soon because me watching Arsenal versus me watching any other team is quite a different experience, and I'm not sure I want to expose that to the world. I get a bit stressed, so yeah, we'll see. Do I think Enzo will go to City? I think the Enzo situation is kind of similar to the Julian Alvarez situation, where it feels kind of untenable. You've literally got his own fans booing him at this point. The issue is Chelsea's evaluation is absurdly high. I know it's an inflated market, but even so. And I don't know, now that Buadi has finalised the move to City, or is in the process of doing that, not sure they're going to spend another 100 plus million on Enzo. So if I had to guess at this point, I would say no. I mean, if Enzo's starting today, I mean, that kind of rules it out, really. You wouldn't risk the transfer by him potentially getting injured or anything. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would guess that he's actually going to stay at Chelsea. Which club's football is more enjoyable to you, Barcelona or Real? Historically, in my lifetime, definitely Barcelona, because obviously of those magical Rijkaard into Pep teams and the tiki-taka. The 2011 Barcelona team is the most aesthetically pleasing team I've ever seen. But counter-attacking Real Madrid a few seasons after that was also really good. So, I don't know. Right now, probably Barcelona? But, I don't know. Your Arsenal bias is always apparent from your short form content. Anyways, if you say so, buddy. I mean, I'm sure it is. Everyone's got some inherent bias towards their own team, right? Would I want Julian at Arsenal? Great question. No. As of right now, no. I don't think you should look to sign players who evidently don't want to be at your football club. I think it's in a really weird position now because his situation at Atletico is so untenable. Like, as I said, the entire stadium just booing him. And if Atletico stays strong on their stance that they will not sell to Barcelona, I don't know what else he can do other than go to Arsenal. But I personally don't want to see him there. I wouldn't be devastated because he is a top player, but I just don't like it. I don't like the vibe, and I feel like he'll be crying for Barcelona in a year from now anyway. So it's like, I would much rather. I know he just got broken foot, but I don't think it's like super serious. I'd much rather get Yildiz, if possible, even though he's got a suspect injury history. Do I approve of the? I hate the Martinelli move, mate. I hate it. It feels that basically Martinelli wants to stay at the club, which he doesn't necessarily have like some, eternal right to. Football is a brutal business, but I think the idea that you're essentially forcing a 25-year-old to end his competitive career at the very highest level by going to Saudi Arabia, I find that kind of gross. I think they've basically frozen him out. Obviously, I'm speculating a bit. I don't know what's been said or whatever. He's giving the impression that he's been frozen out and being shunted to Saudi. I really don't like that. If you were shunting him to like a top European team, I'd be okay with it. But I think when you go to Saudi, basically your serious football career is over. So I don't like that at all. Do I think Salah to Transport was a good transfer? Not sure. I don't remember the actual financial details of that or how big the contract is or whatever, so I'm not sure. But, I mean, Salah in Turkey, he's still probably got enough there to do something decent. So, yeah, not sure. What left winger? Yeah, Yildiz if we could. But I'm not sure that deal's going to happen. Juve don't want to sell. Oh, thank you for the donation, sir. What's the deal with Caicedo? I don't know. You'll have to tell me. I don't know. What are you referencing? Is there an issue with him? Is he not starting or something? I thought I had the. Is he not in the starting lineup? Caicedo? Chelsea. What am I missing with Caicedo? Is he not playing today? Well, he's not playing today. He's not on the bench. Is he just injured? I don't know. I guess he's injured. So, there you go. Bruno G injury serious. Apparently Arteta says it's not serious at all. He says days rather than weeks. So I think there was some fake news on that one about some torn hamstring. I think that was all a bunch of nonsense. Everton, how do you think they'll do? I think Everton will be fine. I don't think they're going to be pulling up any trees. But they'll be an outside shout for Europe, I'd have thought. Kane or Mbappe, who deserves the Ballon d'Or more? Kane. Of those two, Kane. I mean, if you go really heavily weighting on the World Cup, then you can make an argument for Mbappe, I guess. And it wouldn't be a horrible shout, but I would go Kane. Thoughts on Brighton versus Villa? Again, did we talk about that on the podcast? I'm not sure that we did, obviously. I think people have been misreading Villa this off-season anyway. I don't understand how many people have predicted that Villa are going to be like an outside shout for top 5. That team got absolutely decimated. Everyone's talking about how Newcastle could possibly get relegated. It's like, why are we applying that logic to Newcastle and not Aston Villa? I know it'd be a much bigger drop, but I think Villa have been decimated to a much greater degree than Newcastle, and Newcastle have actually bought pretty well. They haven't replaced what they lost, but I think they made some canny signings. So yeah, Brighton are just a good team in my opinion. So I did find the result shocking, obviously. Do I think Marmoush and Savinho will do well at Spurs? Good question. Very quickly, Mesut Ozil or Bergkamp? Dennis Bergkamp by an absolute chasm. That's not even close. Marmoush and Savinho at Spurs. I don't think they're the right players necessarily. I think they both do increase the ceiling of the team, but Marmoush isn't really an out-and-out goal scorer, and I think Spurs really needed a 20-goal-a-season striker, and he's not that. So I'm not sure about that fit. I think Savinho's a good option because Kulusevski can't stay fit. But when they're both fit, I actually prefer Kulusevski. So I don't know. I'm not overwhelmed by either. Spurs have massively overspent this entire off-season. They have become a better team and squad because of it. Like, forget about the Brentford game. Like, Spurs will be semi-decent when they've integrated all their players. But yeah, I think they've overspent, and those two, they've definitely overspent as well. Thoughts on the Rodri hijack by Barca? I can't remember the context on why isn't basically what happened that Real Madrid's got held at gunpoint by Vinicius Junior's agent for a ridiculously bigger contract, and that amount of money they had to commit actually meant that they could no longer sign Rodri. I think that's essentially what happened. I think Real Madrid really needed a Rodri type. They haven't actually been able to replace the likes of Cruz or even the Modric sort of archetype since one retired and the other left. So yeah, I think that would have been a very good signing for them. I think he's more of a Barcelona style of player, archetype-wise, but I think he would have been the perfect signing for Real Madrid to get them ticking. Do I think PSG will win the UCL again? I mean, they'll be favourites. I mean, winning 3 in a row would be pretty nuts. But yeah, I mean, they're favourites, so they've obviously got a great chance. Do I think Saliba will go to Madrid? I mean, when? I would highly doubt it. They just signed 2 centre-backs, I think. And why would you, if you're Saliba, go to Madrid right now? I think, I understand the appeal of the everlasting appeal of Real Madrid. It's like this glamour club or whatever, but I do think that when you're that young, I think Saliba's 24, 25, as a centre-back, obviously that's like younger than, a 24, 25-year-old midfielder or striker. I think when you're in the absolute prime of your career, why would you want to go to this version of Real Madrid? They've got loads of really good players, don't get me wrong, but Arsenal are just much better at football right now than Real Madrid, so why the hell would you leave? He might go when he's like 28, I wouldn't rule it out, and if he did leave it at like 28 to go to Madrid, good luck to him. But yeah, I don't think he'll leave for a while. What player made you love Arsenal so much? To be honest, mate, no player. It's a family thing. Everyone in my family is an Arsenal fan. Grew up, or I didn't grow up. My family is from that area of London. I literally lived in Highbury Stadium when it got converted into flats. It's just in the blood, as they say. There wasn't one particular player. It's kind of a rule that if you're in my family, you have to support Arsenal. Lidl or Aldi? That is a great question. I'll say Aldi. I used to live in Germany. I lived in Germany for 5 years, and Lidl was like one of the main supermarkets there. And my goodness, it is god awful. Yes, I did go to uni. I went to, I believe it's changed now. I think it's now just literally called the University of Wales, and I studied computer science. Who's the best player I've ever seen in person? Well, I've seen Messi at the Emirates, so that would be Leo Messi by an absolute chasm. Thoughts on Rafinha as a player. Have you ever watched him? Yes, of course. I saw him at Leeds, and he was. You know what's funny actually? When I saw him at Leeds, even though he was pretty decent, I didn't really want him at Arsenal. I can't even remember why. I just remember thinking that he wouldn't he wouldn't convert what he was doing at Leeds to a significant enough degree that I'd want him at Arsenal. And then obviously when he went to Barcelona, he was basically immediately really good. So I was like, okay, well, whoopsie, bad read by your boy. How good was George Graham as a coach? Very good. Very, very good. Very pragmatic. Obviously pretty defensively minded. But a really good man manager, really good motivator. Probably someone who has a bit of a life cycle on them. I don't think that guy can manage a club for like 12, 15 years because the people that are there the entire time he's gonna grate on you at some point, but very good manager. What if I was a Tottenham fan instead of Arsenal? I'm not. I don't have any major hate for Tottenham, which people find, absolutely sacrilege. But obviously, I don't like them. There's that rivalry. But I think because Chelsea exists, and I despise Chelsea as a football club, as an establishment, and obviously they're also a local rival. I basically always dislike Chelsea more than Tottenham. So I don't. I actually didn't really want Tottenham to get relegated necessarily last season. I mean, obviously it would have been funny, but I'm very happy that the London derby is going to happen twice again this year. So, what do I think Madrid will finish in La Liga? Well, top two. Not much of a hot take, that one, but they'll be top two. I guess Barca are probably slightly favoured still, I suppose. Why do I hate Chelsea? Everything about them. I think when Jose Mourinho came in at the same time as Mr. Abramovich, they just artificially injected ludicrous amounts of cash before there were any kind of financial fair play rules. In their first two off seasons, they spent 6 times what Arsenal spent, just to put that in some kind of perspective. Double what Liverpool spent, who were the second biggest spenders. It was just like financial doping, essentially. Like, I think I wouldn't go so far as to say as their titles have an asterisk or something like that. But if you play Football Manager and you go into the editor and you give yourself infinite money, do you feel good when you win? I don't know. I don't think I feel that great about it. Like, yeah, it is a win. Wins are a win. But you'll never see that level of financial discrepancy again between one team to another team. Like, it's like people complain about Man City and what they did, and I can understand that. But the financial advantage that Chelsea were allowed to exert at that time is 5 times more, not literally, but in terms of the feel, it's like massively more. I'm not going to use the word cheating because it's literally not cheating, but you know what I mean. Like, they had a ludicrous advantage over everyone else, which has never been seen before or since. So screw them. And also there's a whole bunch of other reasons as well, but I'm not going to get into them because they're a bit more contentious. Yes, salute to Mr. Kevin Keegan, wonderful footballer. Do you think football fans take football too seriously? Because ultimately it's just I don't know. I think it's what you get. I think it's what you get out of it. I don't know. It's a hobby, isn't it? And some people get a lot of enjoyment from taking a hobby quite casually. Other people get a lot of enjoyment from fully immersing themselves in it. As long as it doesn't get, ugly or violent or anything. I think being passionate about football is a positive thing, or it can be. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people where if my team loses, my whole weekend's ruined. So maybe the people around me would say that's not a good thing, but I don't know. Score prediction for this game. What did I predict? I can't remember. I think I probably did something really cynical, like 1-1 or something. But I think realistically, Chelsea should win, right? Would I take the Alvarez Gyökeres swap plus 70 million? No, I wouldn't. I think if the rumours aren't true, which I'm kind of assuming they're not, about Gyökeres wanting to go, like actively wanting to leave, I doubt that's true. And he's been in matchday squads, so I don't think Arteta's going to play people who actually want to leave. So I assume, they're in here. Oh my God. It's at 1-0 already. Is he onside? Holy moly. Okay. Well, I need to see that again. You know, the worst thing about this, by the way, I'm not even joking, is that this guy is in my fantasy team and Fantasy Premier League put him on the bench for some reason. I didn't make any changes. They just put him on the bench, and I'm not sure why. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to getting those points unless. Let's see. Is he onside? That looked pretty close. Does he get up in time? Oh, he's going to be onside for sure. Yeah, miles on. Great first time touch by Palmer. Really nice finish. Great goal. Ah, look at that. Awesome take as well. Look at the touch by João Pedro. Oh, beautiful. I don't know if any of you watched the Newcastle-Liverpool game, but the Joe Willock goal, Newcastle's second goal, was kind of like that. The ball was a bit behind Willock. Well, he actually takes a not very good first touch, and then the ball goes behind him, and then he takes a beautiful second touch to get the ball out in front of him and put him through on goal. That was kind of similar there. It was a really nice touch. Really great first-time pass. Who should Barcelona sign if they don't sign Alvarez? Yeah, forward market's rough out there. I don't think there really is anyone. Unless you want to take a chance on Osman's personality. Centre forwards are pretty hard to come by right now in this market. What an insane start for Chelsea and poor Arbeloa, man. I'm actually very confused, I have to say, why Arbeloa got the Fulham job. Not that I know too much about, his coaching credentials or whatever, but my understanding is that basically he hasn't managed anyone for any length of time. And yeah, he was technically the Real Madrid manager or caretaker or whatever for a while, but obviously things didn't go well there. And I'm not really sure on what basis you'd be a football club in the Premier League and be like, you know what? I want Arbeloa outside of name value. So to me, that is very odd. Do I think Palace will get relegated? I think they could be in a little bit of trouble. I don't think they'll get relegated, but I mean, their own striker's like threatening to sue them right now, so that's probably not ideal. Oh, Chelsea are in again. Morgan Rogers. Out for a corner. If Ronaldo went to Barca in 2003 and accepted the deal, do you think it'd be worse or better alongside Messi? I assume you mean Cristiano. In 2003. Worse or better alongside Messi? That's an interesting question, actually. I'm not really sure. It's weird because I think Ronaldo needed to develop inside the Premier League to be as well-rounded as he was. Because in his first few seasons, I mean, Premier League defenders were having none of Ronaldo. He was getting, I don't want to say bullied, like he wasn't effective at all, but he was not really having his own way. And it took him ages. People always forget this. It took Ronaldo ages to fully adapt to the Premier League, but once he did, he was a monster. And then I think he took everything that he learned to Real Madrid and became the absolute best version of himself. I think if he'd solely developed in Spain, I think he would have had massive gaps in his game. So, yeah, I don't think Ronaldo going to Barca at that time would have been good. Ferran drama. What do you mean by the drama? I saw that he scored twice yesterday for PSG. Was there some drama involved in his transfer? Honestly, I'm not joking. I can more than deal with a Chelsea win if I get my João Pedro fantasy points. Obviously, I'm joking. I want them to lose. But if I don't get those points, not a happy boy. Great ball. No, not a good ball. That is rubbish. How many points am I on? I have no idea. It's first week, isn't it? I don't think I'm doing that well. Haaland was my captain, and I'm pretty sure he did bugger all. I have already answered that, Chunky Monkey. But yeah, but basically, I think Rodri will be a good fit at Barcelona. I think he might have been a benefit of Real Madrid in terms of what they needed. I think stylistically, maybe he's a benefit of Barca, but yeah, I think he'll be good for a couple of seasons. Of Krupi and Alvarez, I think Alvarez is a significantly better player, but I would rather have Krupi because I think Krupi would actually want to play for Arsenal. I don't want players who don't want to play for Arsenal. Do I think it was a pen yesterday? I assume you're referring to the Liverpool-Newcastle one, and yes, I do think it was a penalty. Who do I prefer in El Clasico? It always used to be Barcelona, I think just because of their style of play or whatever. I guess it's still Barcelona. When the refereeing stuff and whatever came out, that kind of obviously soured it a bit for me. I mean, I don't like either team particularly. So I don't know. At this point, I don't really care, I suppose. Best possible signing for Arsenal. If it's not too serious, I still think Yield is. But I am worried about his injury history at this point. Ever watch HITC Stevens? Yes. Sevens, rather. Sorry. Yes. Very good channel. On some things. He's got some wild... Some of his lists are wild. Like, actually some bonkers takes. But his content's very good. Elise or Yamal? If I'm signing one, I'll take Yamal. Who had a better season, I would say Elise, probably. Do I know who Connor Cole is? Yes, I do know who he is, yeah. React to Connor Cole. I mean, Connor Cole reacts to people. I don't think that would be much of a video, to be honest. Nicely. Palmer. Ooh, yoy. Stonks Finance, I thought he was really good at the weekend. I thought he was very good. I thought they ran Spurs' midfield ragged. But again, that's what I expect from the three Bs, as I call them. They've all got quite a lot of similarities. Very tidy midfields, really good synergies and passing triangles in all three of those teams. And if you yourself don't have a good synergized midfield, they will just take you apart. And I thought playing Bergval, Gallagher, and Tonali, who was not having a good game, was a recipe for disaster, and they just got ran through. I'd have started with Mateus Fernandez. I know he's new and maybe not fully embedded, but yeah, I thought that was maybe a bit of a mistake. Take on Seedorf. Okay, controversial one. Mega overrated. An amazing player, but mega overrated. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get more credit for just winning trophies than Seedorf. Like, I don't know. I think the delta between how his career looks on paper and his actual talent level is like astronomical. No one is going into a game scared of Seedorf. I'm sorry, they're just not. He was a very good player, don't get me wrong. Again, when I say someone's overrated, I don't mean they're bad. I think he was very good. But I'm not actually sure if there was a moment in time... I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even sure there was a moment in time where he was world class. That might be a hot take, but I'm not even joking. There is never a time during his career where you'd say Seedorf was like a top 3 midfielder in the world. It just wasn't. That time doesn't exist. Go timestamp that moment in time when Clarence Seedorf was one of the best 3 or 4 midfielders in the world. You won't find it. It's just because he won the Champions League with 3 different teams and he has an unbelievable career and great longevity. And don't get me wrong, he was a great player. But I think it's like a trendy thing to say, like, oh, Seedorf, like, oh, all these other midfielders always get mentioned, but what about Seedorf? It's like, Seedorf just wasn't as good as those guys. That's why. That's why people don't mention him. It's like a hipster thing to say, oh, what about Seedorf? If Kaká kept his peak for a longer time... Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kaká was better than prime Neymar. The thing is, Kaká's just not better than Neymar, because Kaká's prime was like, I don't know, like, what, 3 years or something? And even though Neymar didn't have a super long prime, it was a lot longer than that. In my opinion, Kaká was at his best better than Neymar. I'd certainly want him more than Neymar on my team. I think Kaká was amazing. Kaká, by the way, another example of someone who probably had a worse career than Seedorf, right? But if you think Seedorf was better at football than Kaká, you are smoking something absolutely crazy. Bruno's long-term replacement, Bruno Fernandes, I assume you mean. Good question. Oh, don't you dare score again, man. I'm going to be so triggered if João Pedro racks up the goals. I'm already triggered, I can't lie, from not getting those fantasy points as of right now. Do I think referees get too much stick from football fans and the refereeing mistakes are overanalyzed? Very difficult question to answer because I'm actually genuinely not sure like how hard or easy it is to referee football matches. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but yeah, I have no idea. I think it's one of those things that if you tried it, it would either be way easier than you thought or way more difficult than you thought. But either way, I have no idea what the difficulty level would be, so I can't really comment. I've never even tried refereeing like Sunday League or something like that. I've never even given it a go, so I'm not sure. I think yeah, there's lots of things you could have a go at referees for, but the actual base difficulty level of the job, I think, is a very difficult thing to analyze if you haven't done it. Most overrated player in Premier League ever for you? Balak's a good shout because Balak was a great player, but for some reason, it's one of these things where, you know, when people do like combined 11s or whatever, and then they see the name and they're like, oh, this guy. And it's like, yeah, but you're doing it for that team. That the version of that player wasn't that good. And Balak, he was actually decent at Chelsea, but that is the operative word, right? Decent. He wasn't great. Balak at Bayern was a great player. So yeah, Balak at Chelsea is definitely overrated. I still think Joe Cole is probably the biggest beneficiary of nostalgia I've ever seen. Like, no one was scared of Joe Cole. Again, similar to my Seedorf take, right? But no one was scared of Joe Cole. He was like a good player. He was all right. And now he gets lauded by people on the internet who have stage 4 nostalgia diagnosis. Do I think Pogba's career is over? I mean, it depends what you mean by over. Is he going to retire? Probably not. Is it over at the top level? Absolutely. Fulham have had quite a bit of the ball, but they don't really look like actually doing anything with it, whereas Chelsea look like they might score every time they do cross the halfway line. Yeah, that Farron drama does sound a bit weird, and yeah, I don't know. What's wrong with Isak and Verts? Good question. Isak might just need a bit more time. He's been injured, barely got to play last season. All he's really done is, yeah, you're right. I should do something about reducing spam. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how to fix that. I have no clue. I would make it, you know, one person can only type every 5-10 seconds or something if I knew how to do that. Yeah, Isak, I think, just needs a little bit more time. I barely played in like the last year. Verts, I don't know. Like, it's only one game in, right? But by Christmas, let's just say by Christmas, Verts needs to be a top player. Or one, I think Liverpool's title challenge is in serious trouble. And two, he's at that point, if he's not showing something, oh, unlucky. I don't think he's going to be a force in the Premier League. Mod you. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna blindly trust you, and I'm not because I don't know. Like, why isn't this letting me mod you? If I knew how to mod you, I actually would, even though you could just do absolutely anything. Because I think deleting the spam would be beneficial, but unfortunately, I have no clue how to mod someone. Let's see. What's your name? AOK. Let's see. Participants. Okay. Nope, I can't click you. I can only hover you. Well, whatever. Uh, please don't spam. It's my counter to that. Counter to the spam. Zidane or Maradona? Maradona by an absolute chasm. It's not remotely close. Who do I want to face? Part one of in the group stage of Champions League. You know what? I actually would like. Obviously, you want an easy draw overall, but I'd take a couple of fun games against some really good teams. Probably not PSG, just because we've played them a lot recently, and it's just a bit like, whatever. And I also don't want that feeling of when we beat them in the groups, and then you think, but when it matters, we might not. So I probably wouldn't want PSG. I'd take Barcelona or Real Madrid. I think that'd be fun, actually. Good for viewership as well. I'd take one of those for sure. Platini or Zidane? Platini. Also not that close, by the way. Obviously, Maradona's better than both, but... Why do you think Maradona's better than CR7? Principally because he's better at football. I mean, the thing is, one of the biggest credits that Cristiano gets for his career is... Oh, what a run. On you go, son. Play it wide. Unlucky. Great burst. Oh, Palmer wins it back. Okay. Yeah, people give Ronaldo so much credit for like going to different leagues and challenging himself or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, if we're going to use that as a really heavy metric for how much you value someone's career, then Maradona, oh my God, what a terrible pass. Chelsea are in here if they make the right pass. Real Pedro. Nope, slowed it down. Maradona going to a sort of barely battling for Europe level team in Italy and winning 2 titles is just absolutely bonkers. Basically single-handedly carried Argentina to a World Cup. Just the degree of difficulty of Maradona's career is absolutely absurd. Also, the level of football expression and skill he managed to do while getting kicked the living hell out of and playing on completely awful pitches was just unbelievable. Really, longevity is the one metric. If I was arguing the case for Cristiano, where I'd say, hey, come on, that might be true, but, you know, Cristiano played at the top level for like 16, 17 years or whatever. And I say, yeah, fair enough. Like, if someone picks Cristiano over Maradona... Oh! Okay, clear it. Yikes! Palmer! Jiggles! Get it out. Good boy. Yeah, if someone wants to say, I'm picking Cristiano because... I'm sorry, but his longevity at the top is just too good. It's just too much. I'd say fair enough. Perfectly reasonable argument. If you think Cristiano's better, I'm not going to bite your head off. I think Rafael Leao doesn't have offers because his attitude seems like it completely stinks. Van Basten or R9? Ooh. Well, both in different ways have their injuries cut short, right? In essence, even though Ronaldo played for a long time, he was basically washed by about 2005. Shoot. Parried by Sanchez. Corner Fulham. Van Basten... I mean, the thing is, I haven't watched enough of Van Basten recently. That's why Van Basten wasn't in my top 10 players as well, from like the era of football that I've watched, because I just wasn't refreshed on him enough. I think R9 is more talented, better athlete, and much scarier, or I shouldn't say much scarier in his prime than Van Basten. So if they both played from like 18 to 35 and stayed fit the entire time, I'd have R9 for sure. Oi, go on. Shoot. That is absolutely appalling. Who was that? Oh, Palacios, come on, buddy. Compare Nedved to a current player. That's a tricky one. I'd have to think about that. Not really sure. I'd have to think about that one. Seedorf or Modric? What? Who's better? Modric, for sure. Like, that's not close. What's your prediction of Amarin at AC Milan this year? I have no idea how well Amarin ball is going to work in Italy. Couple of people on the Discord, I think, are AC Milan fans, and apparently they looked really good for most of the game yesterday against Torino, and Amarin Ball was a winner. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think someone who has as bespoke a coaching style as that It's basically about environment, and does your system fit the group? Does your system fit the league? Syria has such a different league to the Premier League that who knows? Come on, Fulham, they're in here. Go on. Oi, oi, oi. Really good by Palacios, I think that was. Shoot! Fulham haven't been that bad. Since going 1-0 down, they've actually not been that bad. Click on the 3 dots next to your name and you can make me more. The problem is... Okay, wait. I'm going to try something. Michi Moustache. Okay, I'm going to try. Oh, God. Where have you gone? Oh, it's auto-scrolling. Okay, I think that's you. 3 dots next to your name. Add as moderator. Standard moderator. Okay. I have a moderator, I believe. If that didn't work, then I apologize. Oh, Many people say Benzema was a one-season wonder. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Even if you're lazy and just go by stats, you can see that he absolutely was not a one-season wonder. The thing with Benzema is his best season or best 2 seasons were massively better than his other seasons, even though he had some statistically good seasons, right? Like the Ballon d'Or contending level was only there for 1 or 2 seasons. So you can then sort of claim, he had a really short prime. But he did have a bunch of, let's call it, 8 out of 10 seasons. But then obviously only 1 or 2, 10 out of 10. So, yeah. Fulham attacking here. Nice pass. Oh, Sanchez. What are we doing? Oh, Sanchez. I'm not sure about that one, buddy. Oh, you know, one of the first things I'm going to do on this stream, by the way, once I've got to grips with everything or whatever, is I'm going to... Because I've got sent a Stream Deck, or whatever it's called, by Corsair, and I'm going to get one of those goal sounds, like some Spanish guy, like going crazy or whatever. Because, yeah, that was... And I need a whoopsie for goalkeeping errors as well. I think that will be required. Yes, thank you, Mitchy Moustache. I am just blindly trusting you at this point, but... if people in the chat think that the spam is less because of you, then I am very grateful for your service. Oh no, was he offside? The guy on the wing. He's onside, right? I think he's just onside. That is crap keeping. I'm sorry. That is rubbish. The thing is, it's not just near post. It's not in the corner near post. It's not like super tight to the post, right? Look at that. Look. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. My goodness, it's so bad. Looks like you're spot on about Sanchez. First of all, thank you very much for the donation. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly like some crazy out there take, right? Like, if you want to win the league, if you want to win big trophies, I don't think Robert Sanchez is the guy. Which YouTuber do you think has the best ball knowledge besides you? Well, I wouldn't say I had the best ball knowledge necessarily, but someone mentioned one of the better channels earlier, the HITC 7 or whatever that channel's called. He's very good, has lots of really good historical ball knowledge. I don't agree with a lot of his opinions. As I said, I think some of his rankings are like really weird, but he definitely has very good knowledge, and he has coherent arguments to get to his conclusions. I just don't agree with some of his conclusions. He's also very good on like the sort of the context and the perception around how well rated players are. Again, even if I disagree with some of his ratings, he's very good at contextualizing why people thought, "Oh, where are you going, Awobi? Get it out." About why people thought a player was either good or bad in certain periods of time and what drove those narratives or whatever. So yeah, I actually really recommend that channel. I think it's very good. Do you think this Ballon d'Or year's prediction is like tight? Do I think it's close, or I'm not quite sure what you mean? I actually don't know who the favourite is now. I was monitoring it a bit during the World Cup, because obviously the Ballon d'Or swings a lot based on who has really good World Cups or not. So at one point it looked like Messi might win it if he'd ended up winning the World Cup and the close. Yeah, I guess it will be fairly close. Is Kane still favourite? I assume Kane... That is such bad goalkeeping, Sanchez. My goodness. I assume Kane's still favourite. And I think that would be a worthy pick. I mean, Bundesliga tax, yes, but open your live stream in YouTube Studio Live. I'm not going to lie, mate. I assume what you're saying is absolutely spot on. And for the next stream, I will have everything set up properly. I'm very paranoid about touching anything now because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm probably just going to accidentally end the stream. So I'm not going to do things like go into the YouTube Studio or anything like that. Even though I'm sure what you're saying is completely spot on. I will do that between now and next time. This is some good football from Fulham. Come on. Good ball. Go on. Oh, back across. Oh, my goodness. Great move. Great move. Yeah, Fulham have been playing really well since the goal. I assume you mean Suarez or lower Suarez every day for me. I think Lewandowski is one of the best ever pure number nines. But I think Suarez was a little bit more than just a pure number nine. I think he had a... Oi! Oh, my God. Hacked clear. Fulham are all over them right now. I think Suarez is just a better all-around player. I think, for example, take that 2014 season at Liverpool and what Suarez did. I just think you have to have so much about you as a player to have that kind of a season, and you need to be more than just a number nine. You need to be beyond a striker. And he's just a slight tier above for me. But in terms of doing their role to a T, in the same way that a centre-back isn't a Ronald Koeman type, they're just a dedicated centre-back, never leaves his box kind of role. Lever is one of the best ever at that. I just think Suarez went above and beyond. Who is your favourite defender growing up and right now? Interesting. Would have been an Arsenal player, obviously. I'm not sure. I really liked pace. I was like, I don't know. I really like pacey players. So it probably would have been the fullback. Clichy was a bit crap, if I'm honest. I think he's actually very overrated by most Arsenal fans. That's a great ball. He's in behind here. Come on, cross. First time. Corner. Yeah, love Sol Campbell. Obviously, I didn't really appreciate Tony Adams as much as I should have when I was a kid because he's not like a particularly interesting player to follow when you're a kid, right? Like that stylistic of player, just like a very awesome, solid leadership. Yeah. When I was a kid, I cared about tricks, skills, speed. So I'd be lying if I said Tony Adams, even if that should have been the correct answer. Well, yeah, Roberto Carlos for sure. Like outside of Arsenal players, obviously every Arsenal player for me won by default. But in terms of outside of Arsenal, gone. Roberto Carlos for sure. Loved Roberto Carlos. Who do you rate more, Rashford or Leao? What? Rashford for sure. I mean, to be honest, they both have slightly questionable attitudes, but Leao is just like, I don't know, that guy seems toxic. So I'll take Rashford. If I have to have one in my squad, I'd take Rashford over Leao, definitely. What do you think of Celtic? I mean, amazing, historic club that I'm very happy exists. I don't have too strong opinions on them. I was very upset that they won the Scottish League last season, not because I don't like Celtic. I actually do like Celtic as a club. I just felt for the league, it would have been awesome if someone other than Celtic or Rangers had won it. Like, genuinely. I think even for Celtic, in a weird way, this sounds crazy, I think it would have been better if Hearts had won it for Celtic. Because then suddenly you break the duopoly in Scotland and it becomes a more interesting league, right? You go into a season, get rid of it, yeah, with more than just two teams, even if it ends up not being true, right? Even if Celtic end up just walking it the next year, you at least have the stream's gone down for me. No, it's back up. Oh, it's frozen in midair. Oh, thank God. That was João Pedro again as well. I swear, if João Pedro denies me these fantasy points, I'm absolutely fuming. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Celtic. Yeah, I just think that the SPL would have overnight been a much more interesting product if someone else had won it. So, obviously, I like Celtic a lot, but I didn't want them to win last year. Dani Alves or Cafu? Dani Alves, for sure. I'm not saying he's, like, way better or something, but his passing triangles up the right-hand side for Barcelona were a thing of absolute beauty. Thoughts on Turkey? Really good. Very talented, very creative, beautiful to watch. Really good player. Not sure I'd want him at my team because, again, I do think there's some question marks over his personality, maybe. But very, very good player. Force and Solis looks really promising. I don't think he's ever going to be like super duper duper elite, but he looks very efficient with his movements. Looks like someone who will rack up a bunch of stats even in the Premier League because he's just such a direct player. Gets the ball in on time, doesn't mess around. What do I think about Connor Cole? I quite like him. I don't know how old he is. I feel like he's someone who will be a very good creator in a couple of years. I'm not saying that he's not a good creator now. I think I quite like him, but obviously he's very biased towards Man United. Not in like a completely ridiculous way, like just has that natural level of Man United bias. But I think generally his takes are pretty good. I think he's somewhat limited by obviously he hasn't watched football for that long, right? Like he's only able to span knowledge over a couple of eras, but I think he's not bad on most of his takes. I quite like him. I think he'll be a very good creator in a couple of years for sure. Oh, the match clock needs fixing, does it? Yeah, it's on 34. That is going. I mean, it's going far. It's ticking, clearly ticking at more than 1 second per second. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Do I like Haaland's hair? I assume you mean his new hair. No, I don't. I thought the Viking look suited him very well, and I'm not sure why he got rid of it. So no. I'm a scumbag for paying for fantasy team from the number one FPL. Oh, I see. I don't know. It's quite funny. I mean, the problem is that's too long a gag to keep up, right, for an entire season. If fantasy Premier League lasts like a couple of weeks, that'd be really funny. But yeah, I think that's too long a con, my friend. Roberto Carlos or Marcelo? I always used to be Roberto Carlos, but I really like both. Quite different players, actually. I don't know. I really like both. I find that very hard to pick. Do I think Scholes is forgotten in the go? Absolutely not. Scholes is inserted into every single conversation, even in conversations he doesn't belong in. So absolutely not. Scholes is obviously a wonderful footballer, but no, I feel like he's in every single conversation about midfielders. What do I think about the Moroccan national team? Give a good explanation. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that question. I was ultimately disappointed by them at the World Cup because I thought they looked very good up until and including the Brazil game, and then the wheels seemed to fall off a little bit. I thought Buadi was poor against France. I thought they lost control of the midfield. And I think, to be honest, some of that must be on the coach because I really thought Deschamps was incredibly naive with the formation he went into the World Cup with, and a good manager with decent enough players that Morocco definitely have should have been able to exploit the fact that these guys were literally playing with 4 attackers. Like, he should have been able to flood that midfield and take control of that game, and they didn't. So, pretty unimpressed. Who will be Bruno's long-term replacement? I don't know. Someone asked that earlier. Maybe it was you. I mean, I have no idea. He's not at the football club yet, whoever it is. So, no idea. Do I think Brazil's downfall is surprising? No, because football has modernized in a way that really doesn't favor the Brazilian default mindset to play in football. Everything's fair. Oh, you get rid. Oh, great save. Wow, what a save, Leno. Football's a very systemized game at the moment. Match clock gets to a certain time, then resets the minute before. I believe you, mate, but I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I'll have a look at halftime. Yeah, sorry. Football has become so systemized with how people play. The meme everyone always talks about, right, is like, winger from my era, and then it's like a player skipping past three people and scoring a goal, right? And then it's like winger from 2026, and it's just a guy who walks like 10 feet down the touchline, cuts back, and then gives it to the fullback, right? And there is some truth to that. There's less individuality, there's less creative freedom. Players are fitter, so there's less space on the pitch, and teams tend to drop into low blocks and have more athletic players playing in the low block, so it's harder to beat players. And Brazilian flair has basically been nerfed, right? Like if it's a video game, Brazilian flair has been nerfed, so I'm not surprised that Brazil are struggling. Do I think Marmoush could be great at Tottenham? Could be. I wouldn't bet on it. I think he'll probably be fine. Only get £42 million for Martinelli. I don't think that's right, is it? The reports I saw from, get it out, Ben Jacobs were 55 million plus 4 in add-ons. So where are you getting this number from, sir? I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way, but that's not what I've seen. I really doubt we'd be like heavily forcing Martinelli to Saudi for that amount of money, especially considering that we turned down like 40 million from Galatasaray without even negotiating, or Fenerbahce, whichever team it was. Can you do a Celtic match watch long? I'm not going to lie, that's quite unlikely unless they're playing a particularly interesting Champions League game. If they've got a really fun Champions League game, then I would happily do a Celtic game. If there's like a decent Scottish contingent in general, I would definitely do Celtic games as well. I really like, I mean, Scotland is one of my absolute favourite countries and places to go as well. So I'd happily do a Celtic game if it was the right game. Did I watch the Man City doc? Yes. The Obsession one, yes, I did. I thought it was good. Not that much substance. It felt a bit sort of superficial. But I thought it was a good insight into Pep's mindset, at least, and what a crazy outlier of a human being he is. I thought it was pretty good overall. What do I think the chance of Spurs winning the Prem? I mean, not this season. If they build, if De Zerbi stays, manages to keep on side with the board, etc., if they have another good transfer window next season, maybe next season, not this season. Oh, poor touch. Oh, go on. Lucky boy, shoot. Handball referee. Shoot. Don't shoot. Okay, shoot. No. Nice. Palacios. It's poor. Do I think Richarlison will be good this season? I doubt it. Go on, Bassey. Oh, you idiot. Fulham could be in trouble here if they move the ball quickly now. Okay, never mind. Foul. Would I swap Wanyeri for Esteval? That is actually a really good question. Huh. Yes, probably, because I don't rate Madueke as things stand. I'm not ready to like call him crap forevermore yet, but I suspect that he will never be a decent player for Arsenal. And yeah, I'd rather have better cover on the right. Sorry if you can hear the neighbour's dog barking, by the way. I can't do anything about that. Who's finishing second? I have no idea. I predicted Liverpool, didn't I, on the first podcast? I'll stick with that for now. I think if Liverpool can avoid injury, nice turn, Palmer. He's in. He's in. Get it out. 2-1 Chelsea. Wait, why is he not doing the celebration? What's going on here? Don't tell me that Rodgers has been cucked into not doing that celebration by Palmer. That would be so embarrassing, as he literally invented it. There's no way. Maybe he did it and I missed it, but I think he didn't do the celebration. Let's just see that everything's okay with this goal. He's going to be miles on. Why is he so deep? Oh, he does really well. Is that Lacroix? Oh, Lacroix does brilliantly. It's another good goal. Both of Chelsea's goals have been really good. If coming to Emirates this season to watch a UCL match, what time would it be? To be honest, mate, he did do the celebration. I'm completely blind. Anytime you can get tickets, it's very difficult to get tickets. So I would not bank on just being able to show up in England or wherever you live in London outside the Emirates and be able to get tickets on short notice. That's just not going to happen. I know people who try and get tickets basically. Chelsea on the break again. No. I know people who try and get tickets basically every week and very rarely get tickets. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be a case of you picking and choosing your moment. Do I still play football? I haven't played football in a very long time. So I would guess the answer to that is no. Do I have an FPL league? Yes, we are. The podcast has a fantasy Premier League league. So yeah, I'm in that. I don't think I'm doing very well this week. Haaland let me down, and I have João Pedro in my team, but I think he's on the bench because the website kind of screwed me. So it is what it is. What do I think about Koeman? I think he's a complete unicorn. One of the most interesting players who's ever played the game. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that ever again, to be honest. Do I watch every Premier League game? No. If there's a bunch of mid-table... I mean, right now, I might have seen every game so far. I must have missed one. But generally, no. Because as the league develops, obviously... there'll be mid-table clashes or whatever, which have no particular relevance to either side of the table. And as long as I'm watching enough to keep on top of generally who's doing well, what players are having good seasons, etc., I don't feel the need to watch every single game. That would be pretty impossible. Okay, I guess I need to mod someone else because this guy's leaving. Goodbye, sir. Right. Oh, yeah, okay. A-okay, yes, I will mod you, sir, if I'm competent enough to find you. How do I do this again? There you are. Add as mod. Okay, you should be a moderator, sir. If not, then I've screwed that. Are you watching other leagues? Not religiously. I tend to just watch the big games, as it were. Even La Liga. Like, I think La Liga is a good league, but I don't have time to watch all those games, so... Do Arsenal have any real competition to the start? The thing is, it's one of those questions where I can't look at any individual team and say, oh, gosh, you know, they're going to give us a real run for their money. But I assume someone will. I assume there'll be some kind of... competition at the top. So I couldn't tell you who it will be, but I think there will be a title contender. Am I watching on Sky? Yes. Well, specifically Now TV. I live in Mayfair in London. Is it possible to get match day 1 of UCL? I don't know. I'm not sure. Obviously, slightly over half, I think it is, of the ticket allocation goes to season ticket holders. So those are impossible to get unless they put them on the resale market. And then when tickets go on sale to the general public, they'll be sold out incredibly quickly. So you have to be ready to buy them Like it's like going to a sold out concert, right? Like as soon as they go on sale, you need to be in the queue. You need to be ready to buy them. If you don't, and just randomly go on the website or something, you're not going to be able to get tickets. How long do I want to time them out? People spam. I don't know. I don't, for like 5 minutes. I'm not sure. Where did I write Michael Ballack in his prime? Not sure. Again, as I said earlier, I think Ballack is probably slightly underrated for his time in Germany and a bit overrated for his time in England. Prime Ballack, that's hard. I'm trying to think of a comp. I'm not sure. To be honest, I haven't watched him play in his prime for so long as well. I'd have to like refresh myself on Ballack a bit, I think, to properly judge him. Yeah, you can never rule out Barcelona and Madrid in the UCL, even if Madrid are on a down year or whatever. So they will be up there. I mean, basically, I assume it will be Arsenal, PSG, and the two Spanish sides will be, and Bayern, obviously, will start as the five favourites. Best seat, get the view. You want to be halfway up on the halfway line. But again, as I said, mate, like you probably won't have that much choice. I wouldn't have thought. If you get on super early and you get to pick your ticket, then yeah, try and get as close to the halfway line as possible. You don't want to. I mean, it's personal preference, right? But in my opinion, you don't want to be behind the goal. You want to be on the halfway line and as close to halfway up as you can be. Do I prefer the Premier League today or what it was like in the early 90s, 2000s? Uh, the game itself, I don't like to be a nostalgia merchant, but I guess I go like 90s, 2000s is probably overall a more enjoyable experience. But all of the content and stuff that exists today, I think experiencing the Premier League as a whole is better now. As cringe and awful as it is to go through Twitter and read all the nonsense and yada yada yada, you do get a lot of good stuff as well, and you can't really have the good without the bad. So I think I prefer how it is now as an overall experience than it was back then. But in terms of purely watching the games, I think I probably preferred it back then. There's too many athletes now, so it's just hard to skin people. Chelsea great on the break, but build up looks rubbish. Yeah, I agree to some extent. I think they've been a bit sloppy, but they've actually looked very dangerous. Like when they managed to get in the Fulham's top end quarter, they've actually looked pretty good. Lacroix did really well for that goal, by the way, that second goal. What do you think, Chelsea youngster Quenda? Don't know loads about him, so it's just a sit and wait with him. I can't give like a nuanced opinion. I don't really have a strong opinion. Buffon or Casillas? For my team, I would pick Buffon because I have a stigma against short goalkeepers. Even though Casillas is the best ever short goalkeeper, and even though Casillas's ridiculous level of athleticism did make up a lot for his height, I still rather take the height. And also, if I get one, I get their longevity as well, right? So if I could have Buffon at my club for 20 years, that seems pretty good going. Henry or Lewandowski? Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Forcing Alvarez Arsenal. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't want to sign Alvarez. I just don't want players at the club that don't want to be there. Do I rate Neve's ball knowledge? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think her actual historical knowledge is better than her takes. I think her takes are a bit mid, but her sort of encyclopedic knowledge, if you want to call it that, is very good. You look like a Chelsea fan. How dare you, sir? Do you think Brighton will get European football? Very possibly. Wouldn't be surprised at all if they did. It's way too early to say. But they're a good team, so we'll see. Why do you hate Pickford? I don't hate Pickford, but you know what it is a lot of the time with footballers is it's not even about the player themselves. It's about fan reaction to the players or how they're perceived by the community in general. And I just cannot stand how mainstream pundits talk about Jordan Pickford and this like he's England's greatest ever goalkeeper. Oh my god, he ultimately Pickford has cost us like in the biggest moments multiple times, and I just find it absolutely baffling that this guy has managed to hold on to this best ever English goalkeeper status when essentially he's eliminated us from like multiple competitions. Like to me, that's mental. Like these tournaments only come around once every 4 years, and he's directly eliminated us from multiple. Like, what are we talking about? And yeah, literally because he's short. That Giroud goal never goes in if you have a normal sized goalkeeper. It just doesn't. And then we're still in. Well, potentially. Obviously, that was the goal that gave them the win. We weren't winning before then, but still. And then people say, oh, but Harry Kane missed a penalty. It's like, yeah, cool, but Harry Kane's actually awesome. So there's that. Like, Pickford's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but he's not special, and he has made mistakes or been too short to play the game of football at key moments that have eliminated us. So, yeah, one is more forgivable than the other, to me. Joe Hart or Dudek? Oh, that's actually such a good question because there's such a weird. They're both really weird keepers with very stark strengths and weaknesses. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I guess I'll say Dudek just it's more clutch, even though that penalty shootout is one of the most egregious examples of encroachment line cheating I've ever seen. Should have said that, mate. Pickford should have saved a lot of goals that went in. Like he's just short. Am I into boxing? I would say I'm a casual. I watch some. I watch the big fights, but I'm not like following it meticulously. I'm much more into MMA than boxing. Prime Henry or Prime Neymar? Again, how dare you? Most underrated centre back in the league currently. I don't. I was about to immediately say Mosquera, but I don't actually think he's underrated. I think actually most people know how good he is, so I'd have to think about that. I'm not sure. Has been short at key moments. True, that is Jordan Pickford. If that's on his tombstone. Goalkeeper's only position where 6-1. Yeah, true, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If I see a goal go in, that I know that the thing is, you can be a shorter goalkeeper if you are a freak athlete. Like Casillas, as I said, freak athlete. So it didn't burn him very much. David Raya, freak athlete. You barely ever see a goal go in and think, oh, I wish David Raya was taller. Like, he's just a freak athlete. Pickford, unfortunately, you do see very important goals go in. Thierry Henry better than Ronaldo? Yeah, absolutely. That's not even close. Ronaldinho had an unbelievably good but short prime, but Henry, a massively superior player in my opinion. Thoughts on UFC 333? I don't know who's on that card. Remind me what card that is. Pedri or Vitinha? Ooh, that's an interesting one. If I'm signing one... Vitinha or Bruno Fernandes? Vitinha. Don't get me wrong, by the way. I think Vitinha wouldn't have done as much for Man United last season. Or Palmer did so well for that goal as well. Chelsea did score 2 really good goals. Yeah, Vitinha wouldn't have been able to do as good a job for Man United last season as Bruno did. But as players, I'll take Vitinha. Am I into F1? Again, casual. I only really watch it when the cars seem sufficiently close that the season's actually going to be interesting. This season could end up actually still being interesting, but I need Antonelli to start dropping some points and quick. Do I think Mbappe should win the Golden Ball? Do you mean the Ballon d'Or? Because the Golden Ball is the World Cup MVP trophy, isn't it? No, I think Harry Kane should probably win it. David De Gea, top 8 goalkeeper of all time. That can't be a serious question. Wait, 2024 Ballon d'Or. Who won that? I don't remember who won that. Was that Rodri? If that was Rodri, then yes. I don't actually think Vinny had a good season, but it wasn't special at all. It was like whatever, and Rodri had an exceptional season. And the delta between when Rodri plays for Man City versus doesn't play for Man City is so astronomically large. I think you need to kind of take every opportunity to give the award to midfielders as well when they deserve it. Like when it's like it's so hard to win it as a non-attacking player that when there is one who does seem like he probably just about deserves it, you better make sure he gets it because those opportunities only come around every so often. So, who's your favorite NBA team? Probably, I don't know. I'm a massive Steph Curry fan, but I don't really support an NBA team. Am I going to be doing more watch-alongs? I will indeed, sir. I will indeed. I can't tell you exactly which games those will be at this point, but yes. Are you going to ignore me because I said you look like a Chelsea fan? I can't remember what... Sorry, I don't know what question you asked, mate. But yes, that was an outrageous take. How dare you? Suitable goalkeeper for Chelsea. Anyone better than Robert Sanchez? Probably, I suppose. Preferably someone decent with their feet, as that seems to be a bit of a prerequisite these days to play in the Premier League. Prime Djokovic or Prime Federer? It's so hard to say because I don't know. I think 2006 Federer is still probably the greatest ever tennis player, but 2000 what year was it? Was it 2015? Was Djokovic's like absurd year? I don't know. That is very close, and they're very different. But I think Federer was more talented and slightly better at his absolute peak. Who deserved World Cup Player of the Tournament? Honestly, probably Messi. Like, probably was just Messi, but I'm not that fussed about it. I don't really care about these MVP trophies, to be honest. Where is the GOAT goalkeepers list? I might do one of them at some point. It would only be modern goalkeepers, so again, I'm not going to go back, and there's not going to be enough tape on people like Lev Yashin, and the eras are so different, it wouldn't be fair to judge them. So, sorry, I missed someone. What did you... Oh, I did answer that. Never mind. Chelsea supporter here. Sanchez is so bad. Get rid of ASAP. Clearly the weakest part of the team. And we haven't attempted to rectify it. Big up, Rich Philly. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree. And to me, it should be an absolute top priority to replace that goalkeeper. Because goalkeepers are worth points. Like, they are just straight up worth points. So I don't know why, when you're a team like Chelsea, you're willing to spend lots of money to improve your team, and you're not going to even improve on your goalkeeper, who is actively putting points in jeopardy. So, yeah, ridiculous. Where's the next episode of the podcast? It's out tomorrow. It is out tomorrow. CR7 never left Madrid. I don't think... Wouldn't really have changed much, really, would it? He would have just gradually got a bit worse and a bit worse, done a bit less running, still would have scored a bunch of goals for a little bit, but I don't think it really... I think he did the right thing going to Italy. I think it was good for his career. If Martinelli leaves, who's going to replace him? That is the ultimate question, mate. I have no idea. As I said, I wanted Yildiz, and now Yildiz has broken his foot, and he already had a suspect injury record, so I don't know. I'm not really satisfied with any options there now. Who are more, Fnatic or Spursy? Great question, Fnatic. First sacked manager in the Premier League. Not sure. Isn't De Gea top 15? All time? No, obviously not. Like, De Gea... No, De Gea is like... At his best, De Gea was a very decent goalkeeper, but De Gea is not remotely close to top. Quick question. 1, are you a Man United fan? 2, if you are a Man United fan, I'm a bit confused why you're fixated on De Gea when you had 2 goalkeepers better than him in the 15 to 20 years prior to De Gea being at Man United. Like Peter Schmeichel, way better goalkeeper than De Gea. Van der Sar, way better goalkeeper than De Gea. He's not even like probably top 3 at his own club historically. So yeah, De Gea is nowhere near those kind of conversations. UFC 323 is at Volk versus Elliot. Oh, okay. Jan versus Marab 2. Let's go. Yeah, no, that should be really good. I'm really glad that Marab isn't champion at the moment, I'm not going to lie. And that's someone who can actually just match his wrestling makes the fights 10 times more interesting. So yeah, no, that should be good. I haven't really studied that card though. I'm not sure who else is on it. Do you think Haaland deserved the Ballon d'Or in what was that? 2023 or something? Was that when it wasn't it Messi's last one that people were upset about and thought that Haaland should have won it? I don't remember which year that was. Lampard or Zeko? Who the hell is Zeko? Do you mean Zico? Is Zeko a real player? I don't know who that is. Who do I want to win the F1 title? I mean, I want Lewis to win, but I don't think he will. Yeah, when Messi won. I think that was a 22 Ballon d'Or, wasn't it? I could be wrong. Oh, is it 23, was it? Oh, yeah, because the World Cup got offset and they played it in winter, didn't they? Okay. I'd have to look at it again, but yeah, Haaland probably should have won it, I guess. AJ and Fury taking the mic. Yeah, I'm not sure if that fight will happen. I also don't care about that fight. I think this era of heavyweight boxing is probably the most overrated in the history of the sport. I'm not going to ban you for saying that, Mudblocks, but if you spam it, then I will ban you just because spam in general is not really tolerated. If CR7 was only a striker, would he be close to Messi? No, absolutely not. I think the main thing that separates Messi from Ronaldo is how much better all-rounded Messi is than Ronaldo. The thing with the easiest argument to use for Messi versus Ronaldo is always, well, Ronaldo's greatest attribute is goal scoring, but Messi's actually a better goal scorer, and then Messi's also way better at playmaking as well. So it's like the conversation already ends at that point, right? Whereas if Ronaldo was this awesome transcendent playmaker, then it becomes a little bit more interesting, right? So no, I think Ronaldo, I mean, if Ronaldo was a pure number 9 and also scored 15 more goals per season, then sure, I guess, but that seems a bit unrealistic. I can see 2021 being Lewandowski. I don't remember the COVID year where Lewandowski got robbed, but that's an absolute travesty. Like when they just cancelled the award, that is right up there with. I think I actually did a short on that and said that is the single biggest Ballon d'Or robbery in history. Is Lewandowski getting robbed by COVID? That was a joke. Is Schmeichel top 10? Yeah, probably, very possibly. Yeah, I would say so. Who do you support in the NFL? Oh, yeah, you're going to hate me. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of my NFL allegiance, but I am actually a Dallas Cowboys fan. So, yeah. And I didn't pick them. Like, I didn't study the teams and handpick them. Bear in mind, I was like 6 years old or something when I watched my first NFL game. And it just so happened that the Cowboys were playing and my favorite player to watch in that game played for them. So I picked them. What do you think was Arsenal's biggest mistake signing in history? Their biggest mistake in history in the transfer window was probably offering 40 million plus £1 for Luis Suarez when they could have just signed him for like 42 million pounds. In terms of signings that they made, I mean, the easy answer is Pepe, right? If you're going for dollar, Arsenal haven't really fumbled on too many like big name, big money signings, but that would probably be the worst, I suppose. Do you rate Jude Bellingham? Yeah, of course, he's awesome. How do I view the Emery years at Arsenal? I don't know. I mean, they are what they are. I don't think he was right for that club, and I'm much happier with Arteta. So, yeah. Is the difference between Messi and Ronaldo a big gap or a small gap? I personally think it's a very big gap. Like, both historically and as players, I think it's pretty enormous. But that's no shade on Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is easily the second best player of his era. It's just Messi is absurd. Is Deschamps an obstacle for France? At this stage, yes. I think he's done very well for France, obviously, overall. But this insistence on trying to shoehorn like 15 attackers into the team at once, I just think is ridiculous. And also very un-Deschamps-like. I mean, he's very... or was a very pragmatic coach and then randomly decided to go like, all-out attack. And I don't think it suited his philosophy. I think he just thought most of our talent's in attack and... oh, brilliant from Palmer. Oh, my lord. Oh, holy moly. What a run. Do I really think that Maradona is top 3 of all time? Yes. It's really lukewarm take. I think most people have Maradona top 3 all time. Who should start, Havertz or Gyökeres? I think it depends on the opposition. But overall, I think Arsenal play better with Havertz. Yeah, Palmer's looked pretty good. Palmer has looked pretty good. Ronaldo or Cristiano? Ronaldo, number 9, was more talented, I think. But Cristiano Ronaldo goes down as a much better player, for sure. Pele or Maradona? Didn't see enough of Pele. Cut inside and shoot. I actually really just don't want... oh, good goal. Oh my god, it's an assist for João Pedro, man. Oh my god, all these fantasy points just on the bench. It's just so sad. That is the biggest tragedy of the day. That is the biggest tragedy of the day. I'm so sad. Oh. Was I a Bergkamp fan? Absolutely. I'm an Arsenal fan, so of course I'm a Bergkamp fan. I mean, at a certain... CR7 is not a better player than R9. He just... at a certain point, those two aspects are indistinguishable. If you play one game of football and you are incredible, do you get to say that you're better at football than someone who had 10 years of good football, right? But because you play better in that one game, you're better? No. So, Ronaldo, R9, had what? Like 4, 5 exceptional seasons? Maybe. Cristiano Ronaldo has like 13 of them. At a certain point, you don't get to say you're better. I'm not joking. I'm so mad that if I don't get these fantasy points, I need to pray for an injury of one of my players who still had to play. Actually, wait, no, this is the last game of the week, isn't it? I'm just not going to get these points. I'm so sad. Such a canny pick as well. It's not really. It's a really obvious pick, but still. Ozil or Modric? Modric. Who's the greatest coach of all time? Well, those are two different things. I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan. Oh, they're in again. Oh, he should have passed earlier. I think he needs to cross that before juking the defender, and that's 4-1. Yeah, obviously my favourite coach is Wenger because I'm an Arsenal fan, so not a particularly exciting answer, I'm afraid. Rivaldo or Kaká? Kaká for me. Yes, I do have an FPL league. The podcast has an FPL league, but I'm about ready to quit it already because I put João Pedro in my team, and I'm pretty sure that he's on my bench, even though I never put him on my bench. Like, I literally had him starting, but he just randomly got assigned to my bench. So, yeah, cancel the league. Dzeko is a top 10 striker of his generation. I wouldn't have thought so. He was very good, though, and a bit underrated. Ancelotti or Pep? I don't know. It's really hard to rank coaches, honestly. You get such little insight into what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. Like, who are we to actually judge that? We're just guessing. Like, we're literally just guessing. we can judge footballers because we get to see every single kick of a ball they give. Yeah, he needs to pass that back earlier to Rodgers. We see every single ball they kick in competitive matches. We don't see what coaches do. So when we rank coaches, we are basically just guessing. Kaká at absolute best or Neymar prime, each having one season. Ooh, very different players. If it was in the Premier League, I'm taking Kaká for sure. If it's La Liga, maybe Neymar. How do I think Cole has played today? Pretty good. Done a lot of really nice stuff. Do I agree Saka is overhated now that now he is underrated? He's not underrated at the moment because he still needs to play a sustained period of games where he actually looks really good. He's definitely overhated. Like, I don't know how anyone could hate Saka. He seems like such an unbelievably nice person. But yeah, in terms of footballing ability, I get it because Arsenal are incredibly relevant and Saka is so beloved by the Arsenal fan base that it becomes a bit insufferable to hear from Arsenal fans all the time how amazing Saka is when he's not amazing right now. So I do get it in a sense. But yeah, hopefully Saka has a better season this season. Don't hate Saka, just Arsenal's delusion around Saka. Yeah, I mean, exactly that. Like, Arsenal fans are just completely delusional about Saka. Arteta ruined Saka. No, injuries ruined Saka. Arteta made Saka, if anything. Oh, it's gone in. It's gone in. We have a football game, ladies and gentlemen. We have a football game. This is a banger, to be fair. I can't lie. First half was super entertaining, mega end-to-end. This is a proper game of football right here. Robert Sanchez is so bad. Yes, he is. I'm not sure if he's actually at fault for this. I need to see it again. It's not a good parry, though, is it, Robert? It's not a great parry. Let me just see it one more time before I completely throw you under the bus. I need to see another angle. Here we go. It's bad. It's bad. You've got to push that away. It's straight at you. It comes at him relatively quickly. It's not like a howler, but I think a better goalkeeper pushes that further wide. And Gonzalo gets a goal on his debut. That's good for Fulham, regardless of how this match ends. It will be really good to get him off to a nice start. What team do you think Hazard would have chosen if he didn't join Real Madrid? Probably would have stayed at Chelsea, I'd have thought. I think Hazard was one of these people who always had his mind set on on Real Madrid. So I don't think it was like, I really want to leave Chelsea. Oh, Fulham are on the break again. Nice ball. Cut inside. Oh, no, that's terrible. Yeah, I don't think he was like, oh, I hate Chelsea and I want to leave, so I need to pick a team. I think it was, my dream is to play for Real Madrid. So yeah, that's what happened. How is Sanchez a professional goalkeeper? So bad. I mean, he could play for a team. It just shouldn't be playing for Chelsea. Who's better, Cruyff or Platini? What a comparison. I mean, historically, almost everyone would say Cruyff, and I haven't seen enough of Cruyff to argue that one way or another, so no idea. I really rate Platini, though. I think Platini was amazing. Who's winning Prem Golden Boot and top? I mean, the boring answer is Haaland for Golden Boot, and the really boring answer would be Bruno Fernandes for most assists. But I'm not sure. I'll say, you know what? I'll make a little cheeky prediction right now, even though it doesn't really fit his current form and status in the league. I'll say Wirtz for most assists. There you go. There's a hot take. What do I think of Solis? Yeah, I think he's really good. Not magical, not amazing on the eye, but just incredibly functionally efficient. Come on, Fulham. Good ball in, deep. Sanchez does actually have hands and catches the ball. So there you go. What do I think was Garnacho's biggest mistake in his career? I have no idea. I mean, sometimes players just don't work out. Sometimes they just don't fulfill their potential. Do I think footballers should have YouTube channels like Haaland or only focus on football? The thing is, um, I think a lot of fans don't realise that footballers have a hell of a lot of off time. You finish training at lunch, right? Or you finish training, then you eat lunch, and then you have the rest of the day off. So you've got to find something to do with your time. And if your hobby is YouTube, why not? Why not have that as a hobby? I think it's very easy, especially if a team's not winning. They say, oh, God, not winning. And look, he's on this podcast or, oh, he's got time to do this. It's like, yeah, footballers have loads of time. Because when you're doing a physical sport, your body literally can't function if you're working it all the time. So, yeah, there's no real concept of, people talk about, oh, Michael Jordan would never tolerate that. It's all about winning, and he'd go 100% no matter what, 100 miles an hour. Yeah, the absolute horseshit. Did he work harder than other people? Sure. Did he put in more practice? Yeah, maybe. But you still have loads of off time because your body just breaks down if you don't take breaks. So I have no issue with players having hobbies outside of football, even if it's YouTube or something. Chelsea are a good goalkeeper away from being Arsenal's strongest challengers. Maybe. I don't know. It's very hard to judge Chelsea. Chelsea have I don't know. If Palmer can keep this up all season, Chelsea are definitely in with a shout of doing something. Read my comments. I don't know which comment you're talking about, mate, but well, if I see it. Raul Mireles, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. He was a decent player, but nothing special. Do I think Chelsea can compete in the title race? They can. It just really depends. Thierry Henry or Wayne Rooney, how dare you? It just really depends on Alonso, I think. If his systems work, if he can get everyone to buy in to those systems, if the defense can be stable enough to allow the attack to do what it needs to do. Ball in. That's out. Need a slow mode. Yeah, I know. I will have that ready for next stream. What's your football look like? Well, everyone says Valverde, but I'm not sure about that. I always got told Klaus van Huttenlaar when I was growing up, but no idea. You be the judge. Do I rate Copel Dortmund goalkeeper? And think Chelsea should sign him. I'm trying to think who the oh, nice move. Play him in, play him in. Oh, I think there are a lot of goalkeepers that Chelsea could take that would be an upgrade on Sanchez. Oh, so over here. I think they should have been in for Trafford, to be honest. I'm pretty sure if Trafford had had the choice between Leeds or Chelsea, he'd have picked Chelsea. So I'm not sure why they weren't in for him. 4-4 thriller? I hope so. Thoughts on Paul McGrath? Well, it's good for Ireland. One of the best centre backs of his era, for sure. Totti or Kaka? Kaka. Well, if I'm taking one for their career, I'll take Totti, just in terms of like how it panned out and how many years I'm getting out of them. At their best, I'll take Kaka. Ooh, that was wild. What do you think about the current state of Leicester? Yeah, really sad. I mean, it'd be easy to say, they had their moments in the sun that no Leicester fan ever dreamed of having. So, it's not as depressing as it could have been, but it's still pretty sad, isn't it, to see a team like that tumble. York versus Cole, Andy Cole, not close, in my opinion. Do I think Taporio will get his belt back? Yeah, probably. What you're probably going to see, I guess, is Charles fight. Is his next fight confirmed? Gaethje. I assume Charles will just beat Gaethje, and then Taporio will fight Charles and beat Charles. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that at the moment. Who do I support? I support Arsenal. Gareth Bale or Bakary Sagna? Yeah, the eternal debate. Tough one. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, he's quick, actually. Palacios got some pace. Well, one back. Oh, referee, come on. That's never a foul. Are you older than Odegaard? Yes. Do I think João Felix is the biggest transfer bust ever? No, but he's up there. If you mean his transfer to Atletico, can't remember exactly how much it was. It was like 130 million euros or something like that. Definitely up there as a horror signing. I also think, though, he's a player that could have had a very good career if he'd been managed properly, if he'd been at the right club with the right coach. Oh, here comes Enzo. Easy to bring him on away from home, I guess. Less booze. Do I know any Finnish players? Sami Hupia was Finnish, right? If he was not, I've had an absolute mare there. I'm pretty sure he was Finnish, though. Do I think Totti is one of the most underrated players ever? No. I think he's probably appropriately rated. Do I think there should be a division between the Premier League and the Championship for teams like Burnley and Norwich? No. That league would just become the Championship and you just push everything that, like, no. Martinelli or Nani? Nani. Where are you from? Are you Southern? Yes, I am from the London area. Have I been to Southend-on-Sea? I don't think so. Not sure. Lower Prime or Suarez Prime? Suarez. Dida or Van der Sar? Van der Sar. Marco Marin. Decent. Not special. Who will emerge as the next young big phenom in the Prem? It depends what you mean. Like, has Rio emerged, for example? If he hasn't, then Rio. Spurs is better than Arsenal. Yes, sir. Most definitely. Have I travelled much? Yes. A lot. A lot around Europe. A bit around America. Been to Africa. Been to Asia. Can Liverpool make a comeback? It's one game in, mate. I think any of these teams can do something at this point. Nothing should be ruled out, for better or worse. Everyone had Hull rock bottom of their predictions, and they literally just won their first game against Man United. I think it's very hard to make some solid predictions at this point. Is Rodri top 5 midfielders of all time? No way, not even close. If you mean top 5 defensive midfielders or sixes or whatever you want to class him, yeah, probably. Of the modern era, for sure. Van der Sar or Schmeichel? I would say era for era, Schmeichel, definitely. Who, in terms of who's actually better, hard to say. But era for era, Schmeichel. I think just time people out if they're spamming. I don't really care if they're writing like stupid comments or whatever. Just the spam is annoying. Garnacho or Delap? That is a great battle. If I had to have one, I'd... Jesus Christ, I don't know. That's actually horrible. That is a horrible question. Mahrez or Sane? Ooh. Ooh, that's a great question. Huh. Oh, wait, sorry. I was thinking Mahrez or Mane. That's not as good a question. Mahrez by a mile. Yeah, no, not even close. Mahrez or Mane is a much more interesting question, even though they don't play the same position. 1992 Denmark or 2004 Greece? I'll say, oh, go on. Oh, he's got no one with him. I'll say 2004 Greece because 1992 Denmark was revolting to watch. Ashley Cole or Everett? Ashley Cole by a mile. Dumbia, Mr. FIFA. Or the other Mr. FIFA. Both. Why not? Di Maria or Mane? That's a pretty good one as well. Not sure. That is a good one though. Me or Sanchez? Great question. How long do I have to train? Do I get like 6 months to get in goalkeeping shape? Nice. Why? Why is my completely private and unknown love life being litigated in the chat? Hippier or Stam? Stam. I'm sorry if you're finished, but Stam for sure. Sesko or Jokeres? Time will tell. This season will answer that question. I think you can allow both to have an adjusting period, and whoever has a better season this season, I'll go with that player. What players do you think were ruined by transfer? Too many, mate. Too many to say. Where does 045 Chelsea rank in your all-time best Prem team? Right up there. The only thing I would say about that team is their completely impenetrable defense was pretty penetrable in Europe and other competitions. So it felt like they had a system that was just super effective in the Premier League that actually got figured out in Europe fairly heavily. Again, that's not to take anything away from them, but just, yeah, it's not quite as absurd. People talk about the amount of goals they conceded in the league, but in all competitions, it was like more than double. So, Roberto Carlos or Ashley Cole? Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. I don't know. That's hard. That's actually really hard. I probably Ashley Cole. Certainly as a defender, Ashley Cole. But the amount that Ashley Cole was good going forward as well. But the amount Carlos offered going forward was a lot more. I don't know. That's hard. Pick your poison. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. Right, come on, Fulham. Start stringing something together here. Go on, turn him. No. Aguero or Van Persie prime for prime. Oi, oi, oi. Van Persie was a better... Oh, go on, shoot! Oh, my God. Good effort. I would say, though, with a keeper like Sanchez, I really hate it when commentators say, like, oh, you've got to get it on target, or you've got to hit the target. But when you've got someone like Sanchez in goal, especially when you've got people running in, you probably should prioritise getting the ball on target because it can go anywhere. He's going to parry that, like, anywhere. Yeah, no, I think Van Persie was a better technical player. Was he more effective? I'm not sure. Aguero had the better career. I feel quite comfortable saying that. Yeah, Aguero had a better career, but Van Persie at his absolute apex maybe was a better technical player for sure. How high does Shevchenko rank as a Premier League flop? Yeah, pretty high. Pretty high. Is Fulham going to Europe? No, absolutely not. Could get something out of this game, though. Go on. Play it now. Play it now. Play it now. Around the... Play it now. Play it now. Oh, my goodness. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, my goodness. That is rubbish. See, you can't be good at football and have a name like Kevin. That's it. There's no Ballon d'Or winner going to be called Kevin. My goodness, that was rubbish. Prime John Stones or Virgil van Dijk? As good as Prime John Stones was, it's Virgil, for sure. Prime Torres or Drogba? For their career, I'm taking Drogba. Prime... I don't know. Probably Drogba. I think his superpower of being able to occupy multiple defenders in an era where almost everyone else played 4-4-2 was just too strong. Yeah, but Kevin's his first name. Kevin Keegan's his first name. Bro, this bro's got Kevin on the back of his shirt, mate. That's like having Nigel on the back of your shirt. That's just not acceptable. Oh, nice feet, though, from Kevin. Referee. Can't do that in the modern game. Vinny or Carver? At the moment, Cavaskelia, for sure. Overall, in their careers so far, I'd say Vinny. Favorite underrated player? I don't know. I'd have to really think about that one. Do I think Kane will make a comeback to break Shearer's record? I doubt it. I think if he was going to do that, it would have been this summer, probably. I think it's too late at this point. I mean, how old is Kane now? 32? Probably might even be turning 33 this season, possibly. I think it's too late. And how many seasons? I don't know how many goals he is behind. I think he'd need 2 seasons, though, right? I think to go past him. Like 2 seasons of... Oh, go on. Fulham are in. Oh, I think he'll need... Oh, that's a... Oh, it's outside the area. Has he given... Oh, he's given it for simulation. Really? Worth a try. Yeah, I think he'd need 2 seasons of good goal scoring, if I'm not wrong. And I don't know if he'll be capable of doing that in the Premier League after this season. That is a horror dive from Bassi. That is a completely deserved yellow card. I don't understand why players dive like this in the VAR era. What is the point? Like, even if he gives a penalty, he's going to overturn it. So, what is the point? Firmino underrated. I don't think Firmino is underrated because everyone always talks about Firmino and how he was the glue and yada, yada, yada. So I think he's appropriately rated. Messi or Maradona on pure talent? I would say Messi. In fact, it is just Messi. I think Maradona matches him on talent maybe in a couple of areas, or at least it's very close. But things like the passing just take Messi over the top. Tevez versus Firmino. Probably just Tevez. Hello? What is that finish? Oh, you criminal. Oh, you criminal. He's onside, isn't he, as well? Yeah, he's onside. Great ball. Brother. It's not easy, but that's awful. Also, where is Sanchez stood? You could have just, like, tapped that to the left of him, couldn't you? How much space does he have on the left of Sanchez? You don't even need to lob him. You can just... Oh, that is terrible. Fulham look like they might get something, though. Is Scholes the best midfielder in Premier League history? No, absolutely not. Very good, though. Another good ball, potentially. No. Chelsea need to buck up their ideas a little bit here. Gerrard or Lampard? For me, Gerrard, but I don't hate the Lampard shouts. I just think Gerrard was more of a total footballer. Play it. Too late. Fulham are coming in waves now, though. Pause. Neymar or Mbappe for career? Well, Mbappe's career is not over, and it still might, even at this point, be Mbappe. So, Mbappe. Come on, come on, come on. That's it, Kevin. That is not it, Kevin. Chelsea breaking. The first thing I'm doing as soon as the stream ends is checking my fantasy football to see if somehow João Pedro ended up in my team. Because if he didn't, honestly... Oh, is Palmer injured? Holding the back of his calf. That looks a bit ominous. Okay, looks like an impact knock. He should be fine. Thought he'd done his Achilles or something for a minute. Oh, wait. He's asking to be subbed. Is he actually hurt? This is not good news if you're a Chelsea fan. He is still running. Did he just signal to be... He just signaled to be subbed, didn't he? Not sure. Cruz or Rodri? Oh, very, very similar in all sorts of aspects. That's really difficult. Cruz or Rodri? Sheesh. Oh, good ball. No, not going to get that. I'm not sure. My chat box has just died. How do I get that back? OBS? Well, that's annoying. I cannot currently read chat. Oh, yes, I can. Haha. Pop out chat. There we go. Future versus today's wingers. What? Future versus... What? I don't know what you mean. Best passer I've seen? Messi. For sure. Prime Suarez and Cavani, how good? I mean, I'd give it to Suarez over Cavani. But Cavani's very underrated. Very, very, very good player. Suarez actually a touch underrated as well, to be honest. As good as he is and as good as he is rated. Actually a touch underrated for me. Why don't you do a prediction video for PL? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, on the podcast, we predict the games. So in the episode going out tomorrow, we predict next week's games. If that's what you mean. Ibrahimovic versus Cavani. If I could sign one to be at my club and I get them at like 22 or whatever and they stay for 10 years, let's say I take Cavani. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, I did misread you. Um, mm, I think I don't know. It's very difficult to do those kinds of comparisons. To be honest, you've got to take in so many. Oh, where's this dropping? Get rid. What are you doing? What is going on? Lucky boy. Um, Big or Rodri? What? I don't know what's going on. Pirlo versus Busquets prime. Different kinds of players, really. I know they both sat in that sort of quarterback space, but still fairly different kinds of players. I think Busquets better if you have an elite team. Pirlo better if you want someone to elevate your team. Is Haaland a top 10 goal scorer of all time? Probably not. Like, if you're actually talking like all time, and you're factoring in era, probably not. There's so many crazy goal scorers from yesteryear who have like more goals than games. They've just half of them are just players you've never even heard of. Um, oh, go on, Fulham are in. Nice touch. Oh, good stop, Sanchez. There he is. There's Big Rob. Big Robert Sanchez showing up when it matters most. It was an easy save, I can't lie, but still had to be made. Really nice by is that Sessegnon? Yeah, very good. Is Bruno in all-time Man United? Absolutely not. No, he is not. What do I think of Chelsea so far tonight? I think showed a lot of nice stuff. I think some of their attacking plays look very good. I think they've also looked very sloppy, and I don't think Fulham are a particularly good team. So I think there are some things to definitely be concerned about, for sure. But I think Palmer's been easily the brightest thing about this Chelsea performance. I think as long as he's not actually injured, Chelsea fans should be very encouraged by what they've seen from him. Who's the best goalkeeper right now? David Raya, for sure. If you want to say like overall holistically or something like Courtois is better or whatever, okay, fine. But if you're actually talking about who is the best right here, right now, it is David Raya. And then probably Juan Garcia, honestly. Where do I rate prime Thomas Muller? Unfortunately, I think people have been trying to overrate him quite a lot recently, which is souring my Thomas Muller vibes at the moment, because I think he's a very good player historically, but he was never close to being one of the best players in the world, if we're honest with ourselves. But now he's getting elevated into that kind of stratosphere based off absolutely nothing. So he's currently a little bit overrated, but he was very good. Is Sesko better than Gyökeres? I'm not sure. I think this season will tell you the answer to that question. Where does Haaland land in the all-time GOAT list? He's on a different planet, mate. As in, he's so far away from that list, he can't even see it from where he's residing. How high do you rate Lamans? I think he's pretty good. Don't think he's like top, but he's pretty good. Raya didn't even start for Spain. Great argument, buddy. Eric Cantona didn't even get into French squads. That doesn't really mean much, does it? It's all about the manager, what their priorities are, what they personally like. Juan Garcia is also better than Unai Simon, and he didn't start either. Doesn't mean he's bad or worse. Scholes or De Bruyne? De Bruyne, for sure. What YouTuber has the worst ball knowledge? Would guess that I've not come across the YouTuber with the absolute worst ball knowledge, because they probably have 0 subscribers and or followers. Of the ones I've seen, should I say, that would probably be a bit mean. I mean, ultimately, obviously, I do spend a lot of time like roasting people's football opinions or whatever, but I don't think I actually want people to think that I believe they are complete and utter morons, so I think I'll probably not answer that one. Do you think your mole will be in the GOAT conversation in 10 years? No. Like, the problem is, your mole has probably had a better first few seasons, let's say, than Messi did, right? At like top level play, like you can make that argument at least. But I've not seen anything to imagine that he could ever be better than Messi. Like I just don't see that path. Like where is that path? Like what? He's not going to develop a better center of gravity, right? So it's like even though he was better than Messi was at this period of time, Messi's intangibles and genetics are just so ludicrous. I just don't see that gap being bridged. I don't know how it could be. He would literally have to just develop. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm not. It's not impossible, right? But I don't see the pathway. Who's the funnest winger to watch? Ooh. Oh, past or present? Well, it would definitely be wingers of the past for sure. I mean, I guess you don't count Ronaldinho as a winger, right? But he'd be up there as fun to watch if you did count him as a winger. Um, who else was super fun? I mean, Neymar obviously was fun to watch. Uh, opinions on WWE? It's not for me, but if you enjoy it, then why not? It's just a type of theatre, really, isn't it? So if you like it, you like it. Who's the dumbest player of all time? Honestly, I'm starting to think it might be Madueke, like unironically. Like that guy actually has gifts to be a useful player, but he just doesn't use them. He's quick. He's actually good at beating his man and hitting bylines, and then he just does really stupid shit with it. I don't know. Quaresma was really fun to watch. That is a great shout. Quaresma was very fun to watch. I like that shout. Better prime Caps or Neymar? Caps. Caps 2019 is better than anything Neymar's ever done. So there you go. Fulham is really underrated. Are they? Not sure about that. Vieira or De Rossi? Vieira. Who's the smartest player of all time? I don't know. That's kind of impossible to answer. Probably Messi. It's hard to separate things like IQ from like vision and anticipation and stuff like that, right? And considering Messi's the best passer of all time with the best vision of all time, it's like, do you just give him like highest IQ of all time as well? I don't know. That's a hard one. Rice all-time Arsenal midfield? No, definitely not. All good save. 4-2. It's oh thank God. It's João Pedro. Oh, thank God. 2 assists and a goal. I think I'd have had an aneurysm. Mother of God. Rice or Valverde? Probably Rice. I think Valverde... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably Rice. I think Rice is just more all action. Joe Cole or Saka? It's actually Saka, by the way. That is the level of brain rot that nostalgia has infected upon us. That people actually think Joe Cole was this like world-beating player. Everyone always forgets that England during the time when Joe Cole played football, like every headline around England was like, when will England fix the left wing problem? England's problem with the left wing. When will England finally find a left winger? Guess who played on the left wing for England at that point? Joe Cole. So it was literally seen as the problem position for England. And Saka has won, is it 2 or 3 players of the season for England? So it's actually not even close, by the way. Like, Saka is much better than Joe Cole ever was. Like, even now, like, bum version of Saka is better than Joe Cole. Maybe not, actually. I've gone too far. I've gone too far. But yeah, the best of Saka is way better than the best of Joe Cole. Semenyo or Bellingham? I mean, they're not even remotely similar players, but still Bellingham. Joe Cole or Rodrigo? That's actually That's that's actually a good one. I don't know. Probably Rodrigo. I don't know. Yeah, probably Rodrigo. Probably Rodrigo. Am I dropping a Premier League all-time top 10? Uh, Not sure. I don't think it would be that interesting. I actually think generally people's top tens when it comes to Premier League players are pretty accurate. I think most people actually have a pretty good top 10. Sounds crazy, right? Because most people's lists on most things in general are terrible. But oh, go on. Um, but actually, I think most people's top tens are pretty decent. I think everyone knows that Henry is fairly comfortably the best, and then it's usually like a conversation between what, like Rooney and De Bruyne or something is usually like who people have in second, and they'll have the other one in third. Well, Ronaldo. It depends how you judge Ronaldo, right? I guess that's like the semi-interesting part. It's like, do you just put Ronaldo like right near the top because the best of Cristiano in the Premier League was awesome, or do you discount him and push him down a lot because Ronaldo wasn't very good for very, or wasn't really good for very long in the Premier League? So yeah, those are the top four, right? It's Henri, then it's like either Rooney, Ronaldo, or De Bruyne, and then you switch around the other ones, and then it's just like, I don't know, you just put in like Gerrard and Terry and Vieira and Roy Keane and people to make up. I don't know. I don't think it's like that interesting actually, because I do actually generally think most people have the correct names. Oh, Salah, yeah, sorry, forgot Salah. Most people have the correct names, so it's a bit. It's just which order you have them in, really, isn't it? Ultimately, and I guess the bottom cut. Ooh, that's so selfish. Is that Neto? What are you doing, Neto? Um. So yeah, it's not that interesting a conversation, I think. Like the bottom couple of positions, I guess, are what people can argue on. You could have like Lampard and Scholes and whatever, but meh. Come on, one more attack, Fulham. Doesn't say full time yet, or does it? Launch it. Arsenal get second or third in the league. Right, okay, buddy. Shoot! Oi, oi, oi. Is that full time? Yeah. So Chelsea take it 3-2. That was actually a really good team. Really good team. That's actually a really good game. Yeah, no, that was a thoroughly entertaining game of football. Favorite TV series? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe Sopranos? Not sure. Um, Team of the decade? I don't know. I mean, I'll do like a. I will definitely do more long form videos along the kinds of lines that I did for the top 10 all time stuff. But yeah, as and when, I'm not really sure. Yeah, so the latest episode of the podcast will be out tomorrow, covering all the games this week and predicting the games on the upcoming week. So yeah, Chelsea thought looked pretty good in attack. In spurts, if Cole Palmer's still look, he didn't go down the tunnel, so I guess Cole's all right. That's promising news for Chelsea. I think there are some things to be concerned watching that game if you're a Chelsea fan as well. To be honest, I mean Sanchez looks like a horror show, but whatever. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I do appreciate it, and I'll do some use. You know what's funny? There's actually barely any AI. I actually the one for the podcast. The only part of that that's AI is the banner at the bottom, and I've actually entirely switched that thumbnail out anyway now because I was just waiting for my designer to make a new thumbnail. Most of the other ones don't actually have AI in. People just think that they do. Like unironically, like that top 10 list, unironically does not have AI in. I think it's got like a few filters on which might say this is AI if you put it through like a is this picture AI or whatever. It's not actually AI. The manager's one isn't actually AI. Those are literally pictures that I took from Google and gave to a designer. So yeah, some of it looks like AI when it's unironically not even AI. There is some AI in a bit of those thumbnails, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying every video it's like don't use AI in your thumbnails, and half of those videos actually don't even have AI. So it is what it is. Where do I think Alvarez ends up? I do actually think he ends up at Arsenal. I just don't want him at Arsenal. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, new episode of the podcast is out tomorrow. I will be doing Mr. Will Parker. As I said, there is. Don't get me wrong, there is AI, or there was AI in some of those thumbnails. It's just that a whole bunch of the ones that are actually accused of having AI in, there's actually no AI in at all. A couple of them I myself made from scratch and just used images from the internet and then blended them. Um, yeah, I will do more watch alongs. I don't know when the next one will be. I have to check the fixture list. But it'll be usually when there's an isolated night game or something like that. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching. And I will also have some proper modding next time I stream, so don't worry about that. I need to fix some other things as well. This was kind of a test stream, if you like. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I need to get fixed. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you